right. Well, basically, so I'll just go back to the 23rd. That day I was actually in acting class, and we were filming for about 5 or 6 hours trying to get a project done for our final. And so when I finally got back to my house at about 7 o'clock or so, I was really tired, so I just took to my bed and went to sleep. And then a few hours later, I just woke up and noticed there was a little bit of smoke, just just a little tiny bit creeping through my the side of my door. And I was confused. I thought maybe one of my roommates had burned something because none of them could cook. And I looked out my window, but my window kind of faces the opposite way, so I didn't see anything outside. So it wasn't anything coming from outside. It had to be coming from inside the house. But I still wasn't sure of the extent of it. And then my friend called me and he was like, "The house is on fire." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "The house is on fire, bro. You got to get out of there." And so at that point, I was just like, man, I got to do something. So I kind of wanted to look out my door and assess like how bad it was. And when I opened my door, just a whole big wave of smoke came in. And so I shut it as quickly as I could and then went back to my window. And I mean, I wasn't going to wait for the fire department because, I mean, sometimes it takes a little longer than you have. And our house isn't very big. My room's in the back of the house. And so I knew I just had to get out of the house somehow. We lived on the third floor, so I couldn't really go out my window. There was no fire escape. Um, so there was only one way out, and that was through the front door. And so I just went to the window, took a breath of fresh air, um, and then held it, ran out the door, and just basically ran through blackness and then just red and orange and just light and heat and uh, just ran through basically a wall of fire. I think my whole living room and kitchen was on fire, and just ran out the door basically. And I mean, I could have only been in it for like 2 or 3 seconds. It's a small apartment, but I was burned up pretty bad afterwards. Uh, on my upper body. My lower body didn't get burnt, thankfully, but yeah, I was burned up pretty bad. So I went downstairs. I was kind of in shock, but I was coherent the whole time. I remember everything that happened. People tried to offer me water, but I said no. I'm not thirsty. I'm burnt right now. And I just the firefighters showed up maybe 5 minutes later, and one of them one of them hosed me down with some water to cool me off, and then after that, the EMTs came and they put me on a gurney, which hurt really bad to hop onto, but had to do it. And then they took me to Valley Medical in Santa Clara, and luckily it's one of the best hospitals, best burn unit in Northern California. So, and it's not that far from where I was at, so I was really lucky in that situation. But when I got there, they just started explaining to me kind of what had happened to me, what kind of burns I possibly had. I told them everything that happened, and then I asked them like, "Are you gonna put me out?" And then because I was in a lot of pain, I just kind of wanted them to, put me under or something just to be out of that pain because it was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. And I asked them to do it before my mom showed up because I didn't really want to look at her and see her reaction to that or anything because I knew she was going to be upset. And then, yeah, after that, I think I was intubated with a tube down my throat for 2 weeks, and I was kind of in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks after that. And I came out of it really slowly. They had me on a lot of heavy medicine, so like some parts would be reality, some parts would be my dreams. I didn't know what was really going on, but came out of that after about a week, I think, and started to feel more normal. And then in the hospital, I mean, my whole body was covered in bandages, pretty much my whole upper body. But you know, every day they would find a new spot that had healed, and they just carried that over. My back didn't heal fully, so my back and a part on my side they didn't heal fully, so they had to graft skin off the side of my thighs and put it on my back and on my side. And that surgery was successful. I think they said I was gonna have to have several surgeries. And you know, after I had came out, and I ended up only having one, they said my skin was healing like super fast. They, they called me Wolverine in there because they said I was just healing at an amazing rate, and I think that it accredited to the physical condition I was in, just you know, being an athlete and everything. So luckily, I was in top physical condition to undergo a trauma like that and to recover from it. That helped a lot. And then it's just been crazy, just you know, feeling better and better every day, being able to tackle something new, like you know, from feeding myself, you know, or just getting my range of motion back, because when you get burned, the skin, when it heals back, it doesn't give any extra, so it's really tight, and you have to stretch it out every day, and you have like every hour of every day, because it'll tighten up again, and if you don't do it, then like one of the nurses said, don't give in or your skin will win. You know, you just gotta stretch it out every day, and I mean my hands and everything, they were tight, but when I first started moving them, I could do like that. You know, the skin was so tight, but now you know I've been able to make a full fist. It's not fully stretched out right now, but been able to make a full fist at times and everything, which is really good. I'm starting to use my hands for more things, and just starting to get back to more, since I've been home, get back to doing more normal things like I used to, and that's been a great feeling for me.
Are you gonna play football this year?
Only time will tell at this point. I mean, like I said, I feel exponentially better every day. So I mean, you know, I'll probably feel good enough to play one day, but I have to get cleared by a doctor, you know, and football being a violent sport, you know, I gotta think about the sensitivity of my skin, because right now, like the doctors say, it's like baby skin basically. It's really sensitive, but there's no telling how quickly I'll heal and how soon I'll be able to get cleared.
How have you grown?
Yeah, so the night that it happened, we got a phone call about 11:45, and it was Jared's roommate. I didn't answer the call, I didn't recognize the number, and then I thought I better listen to the voicemail, and he said, "This is Jared's roommate, there's been a fire," and I threw the phone across the room, because I didn't know what happened, and I didn't want to hear anymore. So I had my husband listen to the voicemail, and so he told me Jared's okay. He's on his way to the hospital. We packed the kids up in the car and took off. About 10 minutes away from there, I got a phone call from Jared. He said, "I love you, Mom. I'm okay. I'm burned pretty bad, but I'm okay." And by the time we got there, he was out. So then we didn't get to, you know, talk to him consciously for almost 2 weeks. So that part was hard. But he was in really good care. The doctors and nurses are amazing there. Also, the coaches were there every day. Coach Carragher, Coach Robinson, Coach Malley, Coach Uribe, bringing by nutrition stuff for Jared and nice sayings. And we just had enormous support from family and friends. My aunt and uncle brought the motorhome down. I stayed in the motorhome in the parking lot at the hospital for 5 weeks. They paid for my daughter they paid all her bills so that she could come stay with us and take care of the boys. And we just had enormous support from family, friends, coaching staff, and the hospital staff.
What did Jared look like the first time you saw him?
The first time we saw Jared, he was intubated, and he was covered up like a mummy. He looked like the Invisible Man. Yeah.
What are you feeling now?
He was just completely thankful that he made it through all this. I think this experience is just going to make him stronger getting through this. We've had so many amazing people come through for us, and it's been incredible, the amount of support that we've had as a family. I'm just so glad that I think he's going to be able to make a full recovery and come back. He knows it's just temporary. All the pain and everything is temporary, and he's going to come back and be stronger.
Since we have the microphones there, do we have any other questions for?
Kirsten, how do you spell your first name?
It's Kirsten.
And then Hall.
Hall.
Say it one more time, because someone's gonna say Kirsten or Kristen.
Kirsten. Kirsten.
So Kirsten, he didn't want to be awake when he saw you. What was
No,
what was
okay.
your reaction when you saw him?
My reaction, to tell the truth, I'm not proud of this, but I got to the hospital and the doctor came out and he said, "You're the mother?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Is he adopted?" I said, "No, he's mine." He said, "Your son doesn't want you to see him right now." And I said, "Well, I'm going to see him." So I followed him through the doors, and actually had a nurse call security on me. So I called the nurse a name, and then talked to the doctor a little bit, and then I said, "Okay, I'm leaving," and later apologized to the nurse for calling him a name. But
So did you get to see him?
I didn't get to see him until probably they did let me in to see him when he was totally out. They let me in after they had covered him up and everything. They wanted to cover him up first. So I did get to see him. Then they took him to, it's called the tub room, and he was in there for 3 or 4 hours. They cleaned him up in there, and so wasn't able to see him. I came home and got some stuff and went back. And by the time I got back, he was still in the tub room. So it was
Jared, we have
a
to
long
come
time.
over.
Well, it's only been a few weeks, out of the hospital. It's kind of hard to tell how I've grown. I haven't really experienced many things since I've been out. I've just been at home. But I just think I have, a new appreciation for just everyday life and, going through things. They always say people at our age think they're invincible, and it's really true. Like, you never think something like that can happen, but then all of a sudden you're stuck in a burning building with only one way out, and it puts things in perspective. Not every day is given. It's really a gift and something you got to cherish.
Where were your friends when all this was going down?
Well, they have girlfriends, so they were out with their girlfriends, most
So
likely.
You were alone in the house.
Yeah, I was the only one home.
How many bedrooms are there in this place?
It's a 3-bedroom.
And so you had, how many roommates did you have?
I had 2 roommates.
Jared, what are you anxious to do next? What are you looking forward to being able to do next?
Well, my legs are healing up, so I'm gonna start jogging and running around pretty soon. And I actually I just did a few workouts yesterday. I did because my coaches gave me some equipment to work out with. So I did some kettlebell squats and everything, and ran up these stairs right here. It's not much, but it was something to do. And I went on about a 1.5 mile walk yesterday. So just looking forward to, you know, running around again, getting some of my energy out, not being cooped up all day and everything. Um, One of the hard things is, since my skin's so sensitive, I can't be out in the sun for periods of time. So I got to kind of wait till the day cools off, till the sun goes down to go out and do things. But yeah, looking forward to just running around again.
Do you have a target date for when you get back to school and get back to acting and all the rest of it?
No target date. I mean, I plan on being at school in the fall and everything. You know, I guess a real goal for me right now would be to be able to go to camp in August for football. Yeah.
Does it start at the beginning of August?
Yeah, July 31st is the report date, right? Yeah.
What about the acting?
Acting, I mean, my acting teacher, she's not gonna let me stop. So, yeah, I'll probably get back into it, you know, at whatever capacity. I mean, obviously my skin's not fully healed right now, so it's gonna show up on camera and everything. But it's only temporary. It'll come back eventually. So.
That might not wait till fall though, but resuming the acting and all.
Yeah.
You're not waiting till fall.
Yeah.
Are these second or third degree burns in both?
I think I had. You want to?
Yeah, his back was deep second and third. His
Yeah.
shoulders were deep second.
Yeah, my back and shoulders were probably the worst part, and it was deep second.
I'm gonna ask you a goofy question, it's an obvious question, okay? You
Yeah.
were running back, you're running back in a defense, is that right? You run through bodies on
Right.
football fields.
Yes.
Is there an analogy, is there any comparison between running through that house and running through bodies on a football field?
Man. Nah, it's no comparison.
You wanna elaborate?
I'll run through Ray Lewis and Ronnie Lott any day before I run through a fire. Yeah.
I mean, you were lucky, you knew where you were going, right? But you said it
Yeah.
was 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you had tripped and you had fallen and you had gone down,
Anything, and there's couches in there, you know, there's chairs and stuff. But I mean, I guess in a situation like that, my adrenaline had heightened my senses enough that I just kind of had, you know, muscle memory of how to maneuver through the house.
were your eyes closed?
No, they were open, but like I said, all I saw was colors, really. You know, from the smoke to the color of the fire, because the flames were high.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and I was wearing some socks, and they were like long socks, but the feet part of the sock burnt off. My feet didn't get burnt, but the foot part of the sock burnt off.
So you were literally, I mean, your hairs all got singed, you felt like you were on fire?
Yeah.
3 seconds?
3 seconds of hell, basically. It was 3 seconds, but the most agonizing 3 seconds of my life.
If it had been 5?
If it had been 5, I don't know what I'd look like right now, to be honest.
So you ran from your third floor bedroom, the top floor, all the way down to the main floor to get out?
No, it's just an apartment.
Okay.
So it's just my room's in the back, Joe's room's in the back, and I just had to go through a little hallway, through the kitchen, and then through the living room.
It's an apartment.
And the front door happened to be open, thankfully, because if it hadn't, you know, the door handle could have been too hot to turn or something like that. And as I ran, the skin literally started to fall off my fingers while I was running through. So, I mean, I couldn't really use my hands. I'm just thankful that the door happened to be open at that time.
What if you had stayed in your room?
If I had stayed in my room, I wouldn't have gotten, I don't think the fire department got there in time. I think my room got burnt up pretty badly.
Were you the most seriously injured out of everyone in there?
Nobody else was home, so I was the only person who got injured in this.
Did you say it was cooking, it was in the kitchen?
No. Somebody, one of our friends was over, lit a candle, and then went outside to take a phone call, and then, yeah.
It's one of your roommates, right?
Yeah.
It was not one of your roommates that had the candle or that lit the candle?
No, yeah, it was our friend.
Did you say this was a third floor apartment or,
Mm-hmm.
and so you were on the first floor, second floor, third floor? You were on the third floor?
Third floor, up in it was the corner unit.
And so you had to go down, once you got to the door, then you were able to get down the stairs, and there's no fire outside? And
No, no, no. Yeah, I mean, I walked around for like 20 minutes after it happened. It's not like I was incapacitated, really.
Did you know how badly you were hurt?
I mean, my skin on my arms was black, and I felt the heat on my face. I remember asking people if my face was messed up. You know, I really didn't want to be disfigured or anything. Like, who would? But yeah, I knew it was bad. I didn't know how bad because I never experienced anything with burns before. But yeah, I knew it was serious.
Do you feel fortunate? Do you feel angry? Do you feel lucky? Do you feel cursed? What is it?
Definitely fortunate. You know, who's to say what would have happened if I hadn't woke up? You know, slept through the phone call that when he told me the house was on fire. You know, I just happened to wake up at that time, and I'm really thankful for that. And I just feel really lucky. I mean, you know, how many people can say they ran through a wall of fire? You know, I'm not bitter about it or anything. It's life. It's just something I had to experience in my life, and you know, I'm just taking the steps to get back to being healthy and getting back into what I used to do.
Metaphorically, what is on the other side of those flames?
Metaphorically, I think just appreciation for everything I have in life. You know, it's definitely showed through how much my mom cares about me, how much the rest of my family cares about me, how, you know, people that have reached out and everything, friends, strangers, you know, members of my football team, my coaches. I just have a great deal of appreciation for the people in my life, and just the fact that I get to wake up another day and enjoy another day of life.